If we pulled you out of your store today, what would happen? Would the sales board shift? Would hours dip? Would growth shrink? Would accountability drop? Or would nothing happen at all? See, in baseball, they call that your WAR, your wins above replacement. In the dealership, we call it UAR, units above replacement. HAR, hours above replacement. GAR, gross above replacement. In other words, how much lift, measurable lift, do you actually bring? I'm Chris Hunsaker, and this is the Dealership War Room. Leadership Fire, 7 minutes, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. And today, we're going to dive in to what may be the most important metric, KPI, that you have in your entire dealership. If you're into sabermetrics, then you've probably heard of WAR, wins above replacement. What it basically says is this: if we were to replace you with an average person, a shortstop, then as a shortstop, how many more wins each year are we going to get because we have you as a shortstop instead of an average shortstop? So if your WAR is 4.2, that means that our team is going to win 4.2 more games every year than the next best available option. But this isn't about baseball. This is about you and your WAR score as a manager. How many more units do we sell because you're leading the team? How many more hours are we able to produce because of your coaching process? And how much more gross profit do we retain because of your pricing structure, team huddles, and deal defense? If someone average stepped into your seat, how much would we lose? Because here's the hard truth. Most managers are busy, but they don't create lift. They can explain the numbers, but they don't change them. And here's the kicker. Some managers actually have a negative WAR. They overmanage, they undermine initiative, they create chaos and confusion instead of clarity. But great leaders, they engineer structure. They raise the floor and the ceiling. Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but Chris, how do I know my WAR? Let's make it simple. And I want you to start by asking these questions of yourself and the other leaders that you manage. What's the team's performance before you arrived? What happens when you're on vacation? What's the difference in execution with versus without your presence, coaching, and systems? You don't need perfect math. You just need to start measuring your leadership lift. Because if you can't see your fingerprints on performance, your team just might be performing in spite of you and not because of you. And this applies to every area of the dealership. If you're in fixed ops, maybe your WAR shows up as tighter dispatch, cleaner pre-writes, fewer comebacks, and higher shop hours. If your morning huddle with the advisors gets them locked in and focused, that's WAR. For F&I, maybe your WAR is more products from fewer opportunities because you've absolutely dialed in and trained the desk how to set you up right. And here's the good news. Your WAR score isn't a verdict. It's a diagnostic, and you can build it. How? I want you to start with these 3 WAR boosters. Number 1 is daily one-on-ones. Help each team member focus on one next move. Pay attention. Do they need more internal or external structure? How can you help them? Number 2, pre-shift pulse huddles. Set the emotional tone and the tactical focus every day. Never miss a day, never miss a shift. And 3, post-deal debriefs. Review what worked, where gross was gained or lost, and what do you want to repeat, and what do you want to stop? WAR goes up when leadership is intentional, visible, and specific. See, leadership is not about being liked. Leadership is about raising performance. And that's not ego, that's executional identity. And if you're serious about it, then track your lift and own the gap. And then start today to close that gap. So let's cross the execution bridge. I want you to pick one number, units, gross, hours, and ask yourself this question. If I were replaced by an average manager, what would happen to that number? And if you don't like the answer, good, because you just found your leadership edge. Now, go sharpen it. Let me put it as simply as I can. You weren't hired to maintain. You were hired to multiply. Your WAR score is real, and every day your actions are increasing your WAR or decreasing your WAR. So I'll ask you one more time. What's your WAR score? And what are you doing this week to increase it? So go out today, create some leadership fire, and I'll see you tomorrow in the Dealership War Room.